All right, guys, we back at it, and we have Bird Brain Village, CNN Bird Brain Village, guys. They are still complaining about Donald Trump accepting a $400 million luxury jet from Qatar, which, you know, guys, Qatar is practically like an American colony. I mean, they have the largest U.S. base in the region. They have CIA personnel all up and down the country. Billions of dollars worth of investments. All of Trump's kids have billions of dollars worth of investments. They are maintaining the petrodollar. You know, they're not de-dollarizing like they were about to with Biden. So why in the hell, like, do you, like, these people are so stupid, because if they push the Qataris and the Gulf Arab countries away and they turn to China, that will hurt us severely economically, right? Let's get into with Bird Brain. You know, again, guys, I'm gonna press play on this thing. It's gonna hurt your head, man. But you know, they only have one side. I guess they mono stereo. They only have one side of the sound working, so it's not me, it's CNN.
According to our reporting,
That's how they
some of the
uploaded
deals going on right now: Saudi Arabia, 2 luxury towers; Live Golf Partnership, Qatar, Golf Club and Villas, UAE, luxury hotel, cryptocurrency deal; Oman, resort and golf project.
And the dinner.
I mean this sincerely. I mean, does it bother you that this is happening at the same time that these nation states are also trying to curry favor with Trump himself?
Well, it doesn't really bother me that people are in business for years, then their dad gets elected president, and then they continue to go on in business. We knew we were electing a businessman president. We knew his family was in business. So I think the American people have full visibility into that. Number two.
But we're talking about new deals here, not existing
well, they're business
deals.
people. They're cutting
New
deals all the time.
You're okay with them cutting deals while Trump is sitting in the White House when he's going over there
countries that
to
are
negotiate
actively
with them?
doing negotiations with
They're
them.
negotiating with every country in the world every day. Well, let me answer your question, the specific criticism about Hunter Biden. All the things you just mentioned, towers, golf courses, hotels, resorts, tangible things.
Cryptocurrency and meme coins, Scott. Don't forget those.
You do something, money exchanges hands, a service is provided, a tower is built, a golf course is developed. Can you name one tangible service other than finger paintings that Hunter Biden provided for any money that changed?
For real.
You cannot. I think it's a fair critique of the Hunter Biden of it all.
Not apples to apples.
But you're not addressing the fact that in all of these countries, in order to do any of these things, they have to go to the political leadership of the countries to get them approved. That doesn't address that at all.
Abby, at 10:07, Scott was telling me how the biggest modern day conspiracy we've had in terms of a president scandal was Joe Biden and his health. And he said that, and then he criticized Chuck Schumer, right, about the fact that he didn't have any character because he didn't stand up to it. But at 10:27, 10:28, the argument has changed, because what we do know is that there is a $400 million jet from Qatar. What we do know is that there is a $5.5 million golf course in Qatar. What we do know is what Syria is offering Donald Trump. And what we do know is that the things that are happening in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, buying meme coins that mean absolutely nothing. The fact is, and I would love for Scott to be able to answer this question, but for the fact, and that's when you, that's...
Dude, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Trump literally, and I'm not glazing Trump or anything like that. I'm by no means a Trump fan, but he literally secured trillions of dollars worth of investments, you know, from these regions, and they are the reason why the petrodollar is a thing. Okay, if it wasn't for America's relationship with the Gulf countries, like what it was with Biden, they were trying to de-dollarize and, you know, get China and Russia involved. You know, that would hurt us severely economically. We would not have global economic dominance. And the funny thing is, like, they talk about this luxury plane and, you know, that the Qatar gifted it to Trump, and Trump's current Air Force One jet is very old. Did you guys know that the government gave Boeing like $4 billion to build a new jet, and they told Trump that they're going to have it done by 2029? And then Trump went in Qatar and literally inked up a record-breaking deal for Qatar Airways to buy up to 210 planes from Boeing. Like, do these people like see? This is the thing, bro. They bring all these experts on this shit, and they don't understand like basic economics, business negotiating, making deals. You know, like this dude's over here talking about that Saudi Arabia and these countries only benefit us by having a golf course and. Fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, does this guy not realize most of the oil supply that we receive comes from that region? Holy shit, bro.
I didn't really do well in law school, but I remember Donald Trump is president of the United States, none of this would happen. And so that is what you call a kleptocracy. And so when you have children, and no, and 1 second, Kevin, because you wanted to talk about you wanted to talk about Kamala Harris being mediocre. Donald Trump Jr. and what's the other one? Eric are the definition of what mediocre is. And what I'm saying is that now they are reaping the benefits of their father.
Different direction?
Please.
Just for a moment. Please.
No, guide me. I'm blind.
What does this have to do with Middle East policy? Please, just a moment.
Oh, no, please.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes,
what does this have to do with the fact that he is trying to create a circle of friendship with the fastest growing geographies in the world before China does?
Right. Before China does.
Well,
On this trip, I just want to introduce an idea. This has nothing to do with policy.
Go ahead. I'm locked in.
What does this have to do with policy?
The one thing that I've heard for the last 4 or 5 years is anytime anyone had any criticism of the United States foreign policy in Gaza or whatever, is that these people would be being paid by a resource-rich government that propped up and funded terrorism, which was over in Qatar. Every single time. They were buying influence in Ivy League schools. They were buying influence in social media. They were buying influence everywhere. So anytime you saw somebody
you want to
that you were saying that anytime somebody was thought to have any dealings with the Qataris, they were thought as being intellectually and morally tainted. Except the President of the United States, who takes a $400 million plane from them, literally is refurbishing it to be Air Force One.
Who cares about the plane? What does that have to do with the fact?
Because it's
Wait a second.
You know what?
If you
I
don't get it. Why focus on something that is irrelevant to the policy?
It's
of
not
the region?
irrelevant.
It's completely irrelevant.
Completely fucking irrelevant, dude. See, they bring all these people who have zero expertise in geopolitics, and they're honing in on this $400 million plane, that Trump's receiving as a gift. And in reality, it's like, dude, do these people not know that they have to maintain good relations with these people, or they could literally de-dollarize and flip the script and start dealing with China strictly, right? And that will fucking tank our economy. Does he not realize that shit? And not only that, there's this whole notion that, oh yeah, Qatar's, they fund a lot of terrorism, a lot of the shit that goes on in the Middle East and stuff like that. Till today, no one could explain why if that's the case, why do we have the largest U.S. base in that region? Why is CIA all up and down that fucking place? Why the hell? And where are these individuals that apparently Qatar hosts, like from Hamas and all these people? Where are their offices located? Who exactly is living there? Nobody knows, right? Nobody could even tell you, and nobody really knows, right? So, and the thing is, it's a mutual relationship because these countries need us, to defend against the growing influence in Iran, right? And the U.S. needs them, to maintain global economic supremacy. Like, it's come on, dude.
Kevin,
would you rather have the Chinese there, or would you rather have them there?
Kevin, the United States Constitution would like to have a word. The United States Constitution would like to have a word. That's why people care, right?
People care
because
the
reason that that's in the Constitution is to prevent the President of the United States from accepting things that are being perceived as bribes.
What is the national interest
The goal of the
this
trip is not to get a giant gift that he can say belongs to him as president, but then he takes with him when he leaves the office.
Abby, you have to distance yourself from Trump derangement syndrome. It's irrelevant to policy. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
what matters
Kevin,
is, why are all these AI guys on this trip?
Have you heard of the emoluments clause?
Wait. Why do you have all the leaders?
Kevin, no, seriously, it's a serious question. Have you heard of the emoluments clause? Do you understand that that is in the Constitution?
He doesn't. No.
And do you understand that even if you think that maybe it might be okay,
how many fairies dance on a pin does not do policy.
Incredibly dubious.
So let me ask you a question.
That, right?
So I'm sorry.
Let me just. But Kevin doesn't operate by the same morals and ethics and values that we're
I'm
talking
above
about.
that. I focus
because
on
you're
policy.
so rich, you get to be above it. That's
It's
so
nothing to
lovely.
do with wealth. It's policy, policy, policy.
No, but here's the point about the policy. Let me make one point, fellas.
Here we go.
Whew. If someone is willing to take a $400 million plane from a government, that the kinds of things that Van was talking about, people have said, even Ted Cruz had some issues with this. What else is he willing to do? And Scott, you're talking about these tangible things. Meme coins
they're
are
business people.
Meme coins are not tangible. They're nothing.
It's called doing
Cryptocurrency
business,
is
dumbass.
nothing. There is a bidding war going on right now with governments and countries and companies. We have no idea what their alignments are to buy enough meme coins to buy access to our
There is a
president.
story tonight in the New York Times about a very mysterious company that bought hundreds of millions of dollars
With
worth of
links to
Trump
China.
meme coins with links to
I think-
China.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
So, I mean, there are
Go
some
ahead.
real questions and
the-
concerns about the money that is
The
being
emoluments,
made here.
The emoluments thing you raised, I mean, it's a good question. It's a legitimate debating point, and I assume it'll ultimately be tested in court. The administration has a point of view on it. I assume they're going to be sued, or I don't know how you would get it into court on this, but my assumption is ultimately the Supreme Court is the only people who can give us some arbitration on this. So I assume that's where it's headed.
Okay, man. I'm sorry you guys have to endure the IQ level of these CNN panelists, bro. Shout out to Kevin Lear. I mean, he at least let him know, like, hey, dude, it's not about, we're not over here. It's not about whether he accepts a fucking $400 million jet. What kind of a moron will turn down a $400 million jet, luxury jet? And not only that, like, let's just be all the way honest. Like, these people think that Trump's gonna like hop on this jet and fly straight to the United States, and that this is gonna be like his new Air Force One luxury jet that he travels around. No, like, this shit's gonna have to be completely inspected, possibly even like broken down and rebuilt and shit. Like, they're not gonna just let him just jump on this fucking plane, that he just purchased without at least doing like their checks and balances. So this is crazy how they're taking this story and they're picking it up and making it seem like it's just big. And I'm by no means a Trump supporter, but this is crazy how they're making this seem like the worst thing that Trump has ever did, right? Like he's accepting some like a bribe or some shit, when in all actuality, like, the guy literally closed a deal for Boeing, right? He sold it in exchange. They went and purchased like 210 aircrafts, from Boeing, and they signed like a bunch of different strategic military alliances. All the military spending that the Saudi Arabians and the Qataris do in America is unheard of. Trillions of dollars. Obviously, we have the whole, the petrodollar dominance in the region. We're making sure China stays out of these countries, right? Russia had control of certain countries for a while. So, from an American perspective, there's nothing wrong with what Trump is. This is actually a plus. But these morons are thinking that, like, this is like some type of that he's like, breaking a law or some shit doing this shit. It's like. Anyways, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, man. We got there's way bigger problems than a fucking luxury jet that the Qataris have given him, which is like a fraction of what are actually the money that they invest in the U.S. So, know what you guys think in the comment section down below, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.